A rumbling political struggle for Zimbabwe's next leader turning into a military takeover. But what prompted soldiers to Harare streets? Last week, long-ruling President Robert Mugabe fired his deputy, Emmerson Mnangagwa, paving the way for his wife Grace to be his successor. She's risen from being a secretary in the government typing pool to the ruling party's top ranks. On Monday, the army's military chief threatened to intervene to end a purge of his allies. 24 hours later, tanks were blocking some streets around the capital as an overnight coup targeted the First Lady's so-called G40 political faction. Reuters correspondent in Harare, McDonald Diritswe, says it's a fight between two factions.
The G40 faction, which is basically made up of youthful ZANU-PF officials who were rooting behind Grace, and what they call the Lacoste faction, which was rooting behind Emmerson Mnangagwa, made up of war veterans. So obviously when Mnangagwa was fired, it meant that the G40 was on the ascendancy, and then the war veterans were losing their grip.
Mnangagwa was a veteran of the country's 1970s liberation war and a pillar of the military machine in politics. He was also a favourite to take over as president. The 93-year-old Mugabe is the only leader Zimbabwe has known since it gained independence from Britain 37 years ago. His elevated status in Africa is a stark contrast to the West, where it's believed he's destroyed one of the continent's most promising states. In the last year, a chronic absence of dollars has led to long queues outside banks and an economic and financial collapse that many fear will rival the meltdown of 2007-2008.
And obviously, in hard economic times like this, when you're out of employment, when you're out of access, when you don't have access to state resources and state power, clearly life will be hard. So this became then a fight for the spoils of what remains of the Zimbabwean economy.
For now, there's been no celebration or commiseration on Zimbabwe's streets, with the political direction of the country still very much up in the air.